Where's that son of a witch, Thor, Odin's son?
What did you say? Vandal, tell me, is that butt-ugly popsicle stick talking to me?
Bring it on in.
I can't believe you came! Loki, you are the absolute best!
You're my brother from another mother, man. I mean that. I mean it.
Brothers forever!
Brothers forever!
Forever!
I'm Noah, and you're listening to A Bite Of,
where we take our current favorite pop culture obsession and we enjoy it one nibble at a time.
Lots of nibbles of this season.
So many nibbles.
Yeah.
7 nibbles.
Yeah. So far of What If.
What if?
You know, guys, okay. Can we be super real
We're
about
being vulnerable.
this season, this series?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to matter.
What if it doesn't matter?
Yeah, I know it. I'm like coming out of the gate real strong with opinions and like
He's
this,
like,
but
do
it's
you want to have a real deep conversation about what it all means? And I'm like, hey, I'm Derek.
what does it mean?
What does it all mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I really am. But I'm just like waiting for the meaning. Like reading the What If comics, it does feel very much like the show. I think they got it right. It's, you know, what if something happened? Singular story. That's it. That's all you get. It's not going to continue. You're not going to get 50 issues on the same story. But I think what the MCU did to us and anything involved in the MCU is we're like, okay, where is this?
Yeah.
What does this have to do with what?
But I think that's like what's interesting, right? Is I feel like they're actually giving us a break from that. It's like that thing of like, oh my God, it's so funny. I feel like a hypocrite because for the longest time I've been like, when can just any person just pick up a Marvel movie and just watch it and not have to know about 800 other movies that came before it? And now with this series, I'm like, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It's not connected.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. I feel like I've drank the Marvel Kool-Aid or something like that.
I mean, that's pop culture for you though.
Like, but why, and I'm not asking you this directly, it's more rhetorical questions, like, why can't it just be one-off episodes?
I think it totally can, but I think with the money machine that Disney and Marvel are, there's no way. And I think this episode, and, you know, maybe the Doctor Strange one and the first one is kind of sprinkling in, like, it's going to connect at some point. We're going to, and there has been some screenshots that came out from, I'm assuming, later episodes, like the one that I had kind of mentioned in a previous episode with, spoiler, fast forward 15 seconds if you don't want to hear this. The evil Doctor Strange, or the Strange Supreme.
Doctor Strange.
And what's her name? Captain Carter being in the same screen together.
Right.
So, I mean, it does seem like maybe we're going to get like some inter-universal Avengers team.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is that I was doing my research, and I always start my research at IMDb. Ooh. And when you look at the like list of What If episodes,
the episodes, how many there are in?
There's 9, but no, just looking at the little screen, like the little thumbnails they have next to each one, there's a blank square for the next episode, episode 8. But in episode 9 is a picture of a Star-Lord.
Interesting.
So it's like they've placed that in the last one, but they don't know what the next one is. But
maybe the biggest one is going to be the penultimate episode. It's going to be a Game of Thrones situation where the biggest thing happens, and then we're going to get the aftermath in the 9th one.
Right. Or maybe in the 9th one, that Star-Lord is the T'Challa Star-Lord, and then we're getting Captain Carter and the Doctor Strange and all that.
Darker Strange. Darker Strange is sounds like you're saying.
That's what I am saying. Doctor Strange.
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, we have had some listeners and people on our Facebook group and various other social media platforms. Also, follow us on all social media platforms at
That was smooth. Oh my God.
So you can talk to us directly, and also other people watching these things and other various pop culture morsels. But they have mentioned that, you know, like what, like, yeah, I'm enjoying it. Of course I'm going to watch it, but like, kind of what's the point? in a way, like that overarching narrative. I'm sure that by the end of this, we're going to be like, oh, I see. I think Uatu is really the vehicle for us to connect all of it. Obviously, he's obviously starting to be inching towards that interference that we know that he usually does in the comics. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. He's not like a shadowy figure in the stars anymore. He's full on. I can see your body. Thor, turn around. You'll see a giant entity in the sky.
I'm in the sky.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes from here. I don't know. That's it.
That's the episode.
That was a 5-minute episode. You're welcome.
4 minutes and 34 seconds. All right. Let's take a look back. We went real far forward, but let's take a step back, you guys. So
it's Thursday and it's almost Friday, and I'm super excited because every day this week has felt like a Friday. So I'm just like, oh my God.
Cue Rebecca Black. Friday.
No.
Looking forward to. Anyway. So, no, I understand that. It's also been like a very busy week.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's insanely busy. Today was like an ass kicker of a day.
You know when you just you're like in the groove and you're like doing it, but at the same time your brain is like, ah.
Like it was one of those days. I'm sorry, there's so many tangents. I feel like this episode's going to be chaotic.
This because it's Thursday night brain.
But welcome to a bite of. Yeah, it was just one of those things where it was like Friday brain every single day this week.
Yeah. But the good news is that tomorrow for us right now is Friday, but when you're listening to this, it is Friday. So let's all celebrate.
Hello, future people.
Woo, we're the Watcher. Just kidding. All right, so in What If episode 6, I'm just going for it. What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? We see Tony Stark in Afghanistan and he is saved by Killmonger. Stark then hires Killmonger, as you do, and the pair design a war robot. When Killmonger suggests that they need vibranium to power the machines, they go to Claw. Killmonger double-crosses Tony, killing Rhodey, T'Challa, and ultimately Stark in the process.
Boo.
Later, he walks into Wakanda, destroying the war machines that he brought there. Killmonger is then given the mantle of Black Panther, but Cousin Shuri and Pepper Potts don't trust him and vow to take him down.
I can't wait. I need to see the conclusion of that. I want to see Pepper Potts and Shuri take him down. Just saying.
Yeah, and I want them to be like new superheroes. Like maybe they get their own Gundam machines or something like that.
Well, I mean, Shuri is, I would say she's a superhero. I mean, she has those amazing like Panther hand blasters. And then, I mean, Pepper Potts in the comic, she is rescue, which typically is for natural disasters. But as we saw in Endgame.
This sounds like a natural disaster.
She can use it for, blasting aliens.
So I hope that they become superheroes and take Killmonger down.
That would be a cool team.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
High five.
We just did a Pam and Jim high five.
And of course, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
The alert for spoilers has been alerted.
The spoiler gate is open. The floods of things that you might not know are about to happen. And stop listening unless you've watched What If Episode 7.
All right. Let's party and officially take a bite of What If Episode 7. What if Thor were an only child?
Party Thor. I was really excited for this episode. There has been like kind of rumors that there was going to be like a fun Thor episode, and I'm glad it was true because we needed it.
Yeah, I feel like our wishes were granted after these past couple of weeks.
What's it though? It's like more than halfway through the season. It was like, could this have been episode 4, maybe 5? Probably.
Yeah, but hopefully your theory is right. So like it was just like down in the doldrums for a bit there. And then we had this one fun one. And now our next 2 episodes will be like our epic episodes where like crazy things happen.
I hope so.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's not so sad.
Yeah. This one was great until the last like 2 seconds.
They got to do it. They always got to do it.
Yeah. So this episode opens with, wait, what am I doing? I'm going way ahead of myself. I usually talk about the voice cast.
Let's get into it. It's okay. Hey, listen, listeners, kids. Hey, kids.
No.
I like kids.
I hope kids aren't listening to us.
No. I mean like kids, like a group of friends. Hey, kids.
Do you call your group of friends kids?
I call them.
I've been around your group of friends.
Yeah. I don't know.
So next weekend we have our bachelor party with a very select few group of friends. Woo! Listen, I want you to call them kids, and I want to see the reaction.
No, I will say, no, I definitely do that. I'll like walk into and be like, hey, kids. Like that. I think I do that at work too. Hey, colleagues, comment below. Do I say kids?
That's not the same thing. It's
Hey, friends.
kids.
No, I definitely call my friends kids.
Okay.
Anyway.
A group of baby goats. That's what they all
Oh,
are.
that's even cuter.
All right. Anyway, what were you saying? Oh, no, I was saying.
I don't know. I was going to say something. Oh, I know what I was going to say. They're on the ride with us. It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're with us. They're like, we're ebbing, we're flowing.
I feel bad for the people that usually have our podcast on like 0.5 speed or maybe 2 speed because I feel like we're just zooming all over the place.
Do you think people speed us up?
I think there was one person maybe like 6 months ago that had said that they do that. And it's not because they don't want to listen to us, but I think it's because of their commute time.
No, you have no idea. I'm so excited.
Really?
Because I will always speed up my audiobooks that I listen to on Libby. Download Libby for ebooks from your local library. But
Recommended by your resident librarian here.
absolutely. But what I'm saying is that I feel honored because I do that for books. So it means, I don't know, just like, I'm like, oh my God, I do that too for me, but for you, for me. Anyway.
Comment below if you speed up our podcasts.
Yeah. They're like, but it's because I want to get it over with.
I listen to the first 5 minutes and then I turn it off.
They're like, I go right to the special segment because it's making so much sense this season.
Fine. I hope you guys listen to the special segment. Here's your warning to stick through the end of the episode. It doesn't matter if you know the end of the episode we're talking about. We have special segments at the end that Derek puts a lot of heart and time and sweat and tears and not knowing sometimes what he's going to cover. You need to listen.
Yeah, but I don't know about this one because this special segment really sucks.
Okay.
Wink.
That could go many different ways. I'm excited.
You'll have to
find
stick
out.
around to see.
Guys, one last thing before we get off this tangent roller coaster. I never know what he's going to say at the end of the episodes. So,
yeah. That's why sometimes he reacts like, oh, cool. And sometimes he's like, what?
yeah, sometimes I'm like, okay, come on. Slug facials? No,
you
thanks.
can do better. Oh, you've been obsessed with those snail facials this whole week.
Oh, yes, snails, yeah. Oh, well, somebody submitted to some, like, Twitter account that does, like, podcasts out of context, and somebody submitted the quote that I said to your segment where I said, like, most of my holes are on my face, which isn't untrue, but out of context sounds very dirty.
I mean, you said it.
Anyway, back to the voice cast of episode 7 of What If. So everybody plays their MCU live action counterpart except for, and interesting enough, Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. Brie Larson does not come and voice her animated counterpart, but we got Alexandra Daniels and Frigga, really the only two that are of note that didn't voice them.
Right.
And Frigga is voiced by Gisette Ailes.
Eels?
Ailes. But it's interesting because, Frigga, the actress, came back for Endgame and we saw her. So it's interesting. Again, I'm just like, wonder why they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I still sticking to my guns of like, they at least put the calls out there. Like, hey, are you available to do this? And some of them were just like, no.
Yeah, because if Marvel Studios called me and was like, hey, can you do this extra thing? I'd be like, no.
When you're Brie Larson,
that's true.
You could be like, no.
She has like an amazing Twitter feed, so like she's busy.
Thank you. But it was great to see people come back.
Yeah, those are really the only people of note. And also the person that Fred Tulskor voiced Drax and also Volstagg. So it's interesting. Somebody voiced two characters, completely different ones. So anyway, on to the actual episode.
Whoa.
15 almost.
Right, how long did it take us to get there?
Like 14, 15 minutes, I'm assuming. All right, so wait, did you say officially take a bite of?
Yeah, I did. Because when I said, what if Thor were an only child, I put my fingers up to my chin.
Cool.
They can't see that.
So this episode opens with Darcy. More Darcy. We got more of her in WandaVision, and I just, every time, I don't know how much I miss Darcy until I see Darcy again.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, oh my God, why isn't there more Darcy?
It's this thing of like, where's she been? Why have they been doing this to us?
Yeah.
We fell in love with her in WandaVision. They're tuning in every week to see if Darcy's going to come. They're like, we'll finally give it to him.
But this makes sense that we see her with Jane Foster again, because in the first Thor movie, almost the same thing plans out. It's just a little slightly different in the timeline. So Jane Foster and Darcy are monitoring anomalies. Just like the... Did I say that weird?
Monitoring anomalies.
That's my science speak. But it's interesting because in the first Thor, they're doing the same thing. And the only difference is that Jane Foster doesn't know of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Thor movies. In this one, she already knows. So I'm assuming maybe she found proof of extraterrestrial life, which we know Nick Fury knows of, but put her on the S.H.I.E.L.D. radar. So she already knows S.H.I.E.L.D. So there's slight differences in this.
But then she can't get in touch with S.H.I.E.L.D. No one from S.H.I.E.L.D. answers her calls. Rude.
True. Yeah.
Rude.
Then all of a sudden the Bifrost lands in Las Vegas. Of all dirty places. Sorry, anybody that listens to us in Las Vegas, but come on.
Whoops.
The latest episode of What If imagines what would have happened if Odin hadn't adopted Loki as his son, instead returning him to his family, the Frost Giants. Therefore, Thor grows up. You know, guys, I know words and I know how to say them, as evidence of the last almost 80 episodes of A Bite Of, but sometimes they're hard.
I mean, I'm with you on that. Words are hard. Look, if we can take advice from anyone right now, it's Michelle Branch. Just breathe. If I just breathe.
Occasionally in the car, Michelle Branch comes on and I'm always thrown off because most of the time it's like K-pop or Dua Lipa. And I'm like, oh, Michelle Branch is also in this rotation.
Y'all forget, in my teenage years, I had a heavy Avril Lavigne, Michelle Branch, Gwen Stefani, No Doubt flow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a interesting trio.
Oh, yeah.
Almost the same, though.
It's, it's like, awesome,
Why you have
strong
to make
female
things so
vocalist.
complicated?
Hey, yeah.
Therefore, Thor grows up as an only child, a change that has huge impact on his character. In this universe, Odin gave back Loki to the Frost Giants instead of raising him, which is kind of nice, but resulted in Thor being a party fiend.
I have a question.
You have your hand raised, yes.
Why didn't Odin give Loki back?
So this is interesting. So Jack Kirby had a lot of, I'm going into like comic book knowledge as I push up my glasses. So Jack Kirby and Stan Lee were like a creative duo in the comics, and they had a lot of influence on each other. And Jack Kirby branched off later on to go write stuff for DC and also the Fourth World Comics. In DC, there's a comic called The New Gods.
Mm-hmm.
Thor and the New Gods have a lot of similarities in that two kings or rulers from opposing planets / realms, if you want to say, were at war. And to do a peace treaty, they exchanged their sons.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like, okay, you can raise my son and then I'll raise your son. That way you have a piece of me and a piece of you. And it's a treaty. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I'm going to give you a piece of me, so now I can't destroy you because then I'd have to kill my son type of thing. So it's almost the same thing in Thor, where it was like, he kind of defeated the Frost Giants, and then as like a thing, he was like, here, take my kid. And, Odin kind of saw pity in it and was just like, fine, I'll raise it. It's a very complicated relationship, I would say, more in Thor than it is in the New Gods, but here we are. He kind of grew on Loki, is what I'm getting at. And
Okay.
That's why he raised him. But in this one, I guess he had a bigger heart, and he was just like, no, I'm going to give him back to the Frost Giants.
He belongs with these guys.
Let them raise them.
Yeah.
And then at this time in the show, he's having his Odin sleep, which is almost like a cycle / recharge, where he can go to sleep for who knows how long. But that's how he stays alive, and that's how he's immortal and
Got to recharge.
blah, blah, blah. So that's why he's not really around in this episode, because he's in his Odin sleep. So
Awesome.
that's where he's at.
Thanks for that lesson.
Anyway, Darcy and Jane arrive to the giant party, and this is the first time Jane and Thor meet, which I think is really interesting because as you see in this episode, there's more Bifrosts being put down and more alien races are showing up. We see tons of cameos from other people. but Jane is expecting an alien, ET-ish, as Darcy says, but she sees Thor, the glorious blonde-haired, blue-eyed, muscled thunder god, and she's like, oh, I'm in love with an alien now, right off the bat. So big question, though, is why is Thor on Midgard and partying like there's no tomorrow? Well, we see that, I guess, when he doesn't have a sibling, he just likes to party. He has no cares or wants, and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to go to different places and stuff and party. We see that he lies to his mother just like a high school student would and say that he's studying. He's going to all these places to study and to learn about different things. It's not true.
He actually calls Earth the most backward backwater planet.
I like it.
Roasted.
Yeah.
He took us down.
Is he wrong?
Maybe.
Probably not. So at this giant party in Las Vegas, tons of aliens and people from other realms are in attendance, including Howard the Duck, some Skrulls that like to shapeshift into Thor, and the Grand Master, which I did not expect, but I'm loving every second of it. Anytime I see the Grand Master in anything, I'm just like, I missed you, Jeff Goldblum.
And he's back. He said, by the way, they're going to give me a season 2 of my new show on Disney Plus, so I'll be back to voice this.
We find out from Jane Foster's calculations and everything that Alpha Star had died, but it turns out it was due to Thor's previous Ragers. That's where he had his last party, and now he's on Midgard, which, I mean, foreshadowing, if it's like Alpha Star died because your last Rager, I don't think it's good for Earth. Natalie Portman's voice acting in this episode is pretty good. I wasn't expecting it to be great.
She's an Oscar winner.
I know.
Black Swan.
Have you seen her do animation?
Absolutely.
What?
And that thing she was in.
What?
That was animated.
I've seen her rap.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's amazing.
But I have not seen her voice act.
Who has?
And we all have now. And she's great. I just want to, I wrote it in my notes and I wanted to say it. All I'm saying is I'm so glad that Jane Foster's back in the MCU and I can't wait for Thor Love and Thunder.
Well, that's exactly it. They said you better get ready to hear this voice again because you're going to love it. Because guess what? Look at her biceps.
Oh, man. She got jacked. Good for her.
Yeah. She probably trains with Chris Hemsworth.
She trains harder than Chris Hemsworth. I'm sure. Probably not. Yeah. I mean, who's to say?
I don't know. Look, she's been a prima ballerina. Now she's the god of thunder. So the range.
This episode has lots of flashes of like little tiny scenes.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. But I will say
this episode of Abida.
Right. We had to emulate the episode.
You're right.
The Grandmaster is apparently an amazing DJ. And Nebula is great at craps.
How about that? I do have to say that there are some really good like one-liners in this episode. Like, of course, Darcy, she's like, shouldn't there be more lasers probing a flying cow?
I didn't hear that.
So good when she first gets to the alien party.
Love it.
And then I also love that Thor is letting people know what's at the party. And he says, libations, crudité, cake. I'm like, this is my kind of party.
But I don't see any of those things in attendance.
Well, yeah. There was cake. There was cake.
There was definitely
And I'm
cake.
sure there was libations flowing.
And crudités.
Crudité. Someone had to be eating vegetables.
We also see Howard the Duck. And in this little montage that we get prior to the next big scene, Howard the Duck and Darcy Lewis get married via an Elvis impersonator.
I have a theory that the song Waking Up in Vegas by Katy Perry was actually inspired by Darcy and Howard the Duck getting married in Vegas.
I didn't think about that, but I believe it. It has to be true. And Thor and Jane got matching tattoos. His says science and hers says magic. It has a little Mjolnir.
If you and I were to get tattoos of the thing the other person loved, what would we get?
We'd both get books.
Right. I would just get comics and you would get books.
But yeah, I like both. I read comics more.
I mean,
it's fine.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, yeah.
I do read comics. Yeah. Every night I read comics.
Every night.
Every
night. This little angel tucks into bed with his iPad and he just reads comics.
I'm currently reading the new series, The Death of Doctor Strange, and I'm super excited / sad about it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
It just started this Wednesday, so read it if you read comics.
If you want to read another sad Doctor Strange story, this
ahead.
one's there for you.
He has been through the ringer lately, and it's showing in the comics.
He might not even be real in the Spider-Man movie.
Don't stop.
In those sweats?
Not go off.
Stephen Strange? I don't think so.
So we end up seeing the next morning, and I'm getting strong hangover vibes from this. You know, they're waking up, they're not knowing what happened the next night. After Jane Foster wakes up and getting mad at all the phones in the hotel room, Maria Hill shows up at her hotel room. Apparently, Nick Fury got knocked out by Korg, and he's just out of commission for the rest of this episode.
Here's the creepy thing about S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, we probably already knew this, but they called her cell phone. She didn't answer. They called her hotel room phone. She didn't answer. Didn't even matter. They were outside her door.
Yeah, that's weird. Why call if you were already there?
That's true. Maybe they were trying to be nice about it.
Or maybe they were there because of all the aliens, and they were just like, let's try calling her. But they knew where she was. Whatever. I mean, they're crazy.
Yeah, they know everything.
So S.H.I.E.L.D. wants her to eliminate the threat, a.k.a. Thor and all the aliens and people from other realms. Coulson ends up making a cameo, which he tells Jane, Darcy, and Maria Hill that the party atmosphere is spreading.
Yes.
So think of a typical, I don't know, movie where teenagers throw a party and the house gets destroyed. It's like that, but Earth is the house.
Oh, yeah. It's Can't Hardly Wait. And the girl's like, don't go into this room, but they go into that room.
And they destroy it all.
Absolutely.
Jane wants to be diplomatic, but Darcy calls her out on it because, she needs more of that thunder. Wink, wink,
Oh,
wink,
my.
wink. Kat Dennings, I mean, in this episode, she has her quips. I'm not going to go through all of them, but every time she always has something to say. And I just love the jokes. I love it every time. She's so charming and funny.
We need this.
Yeah.
We needed all the one-liners. We needed all the punchlines. We needed all the quips. We needed the sarcasm.
All the Kat Dennings. Follow her on Instagram. She's hilarious.
Oh,
on Instagram.
she's
Just
so
saying.
great. She's just so great. When is the second season of her series from Hulu coming back? I don't know, but it was delightful.
Dollface.
Yes, I loved that.
Oh, that was good.
And I mean, like, come on. Kat Dennings totally deserves to be starring in her own series.
Yeah. So does Jimmy Woo.
Oh,
All of them together.
Yeah.
Let's go. We all want it.
bring it.
Anyway, in Paris, Frost Giants, aka Loki, confronts Thor, and apparently they are party bros. They show up. Loki is in Frost Giant form
Yeah.
because he never had to not be in Frost Giant form because he was raised by his people.
I feel like they're like fraternity brothers or something like that.
Yeah, it's very much like, oh, you remember that party? Yeah, I remember that party. You totally did that. Yeah.
Bro.
Total bros. Like, not like bro siblings or adopted bro siblings, but like bros.
Like, brah.
Yeah.
Brah.
Brah.
Yo, brah.
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 But it is sweet. It's nice because it's like they almost have, and I say almost, they almost have a better relationship this way than they do having to be together. But we don't get Thor as a superhero because of it.
Sure. But it's like, I guess when there isn't a throne up for grabs, you don't have to be deceitful and try and like trick people.
True. They both have their respective
They're already
thrones.
princes. Yeah.
I thought you said princesses, which is fine either way.
Two Princes, the song. Remember that song? If you call me baby,
No.
just go ahead now. You don't remember that song?
I don't know who sung it.
Two Princes. No, I don't know. Two Princes is the name of the song.
Wait. Two Princes.
No, that's
sung
wrong.
a song named Two Princes.
I take it back.
Okay.
But Two Princes is the name of the song. If you like to call me baby, just go ahead now.
Oh,
If you...
that's the name of the song?
Two Princes, yeah. Because like one time in
No.
the song they say Two Princes.
I just know that song from movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I do?
And then Captain Marvel shows up. Yay!
All right.
She tells Thor that the party is over and they need to leave the planet. And he's like, no, I'm partying. So she punches him in the face.
Battle of the Blondes.
Mm-hmm. Captain Marvel versus Thor is like a Twitter debate played out. I just want to say, everybody is always like, who's the strongest Avenger? Who's the strongest this? But it was fun to see them actually act it out. What would happen?
With maps.
Oh my God. Whenever they were like punching each other to like different continents and different countries, I just loved the detail of like just telling us what country they were flying to.
France. United Kingdom.
United States.
America.
But it was nice though when they were like kind of like beefing up to each other that Loki was like in Thor's corner, which was kind of nice. I liked that.
I also enjoyed she's a potty pooper. There, I said it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she kind of is.
Party pooper.
Yeah.
Every party has a pooper. That's why we invited you, Carol Danvers.
Oh. What? Was that from something, or did you just make it up?
Well, the song "Every Party Has a Pooper." That's why we invited you, Party
oh my
Pooper.
God,
is the
so
song.
many songs I don't know.
Two Princes and Party Pooper. Don't worry, we'll catch up real quick.
Comment below if you know those songs.
Everybody.
Anyway, so Thor knocks Carol from Paris to Stonehenge, which no one knows what that is. It's just some weird rocks. I mean, if it goes away, that's sad because it's like a world treasure.
Treasure.
I guess. But also, like, it's just a bunch of rocks.
Or like a sundial. Ancient sundial.
Is that like a theory?
I think so.
What if it was just like a meeting house or like...
Oh, I would love to go to the meeting house and talk to my friends.
But why are the rocks still up? I don't know. So then after Thor knocks down Stonehenge and Carol's like, oh no, why'd you do that? Carol then punches Thor back to the United States. So we're going all over the place here.
This is when things get very Looney Tunes, Wile E. Coyote, Roadrunner.
They really do.
Right?
But we do get a really cool hand-to-hand fight, which is fantastic between the two. And it's kind of funny because every time Carol like gets a connecting punch, Thor makes, it's so funny. But I love that we got to see her energy absorption powers when Thor blasted her with the lightning. That's one power that she has, and they've kind of visually shown it. But I think like in this, it was just like, guys, yes, she does have this power. She's a formidable force because she can absorb almost any type of energy. So, and think about superheroes, a lot of them have energy projections, and it doesn't do shit on her. Just saying.
Yeah. Also, she's a superhero that got a beeper designed that when you click it, her emblem comes up.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
That's hard to do. Motorola back in the day? I don't think so. Pager? Beeper.
No.
Pager.
Darcy says beeper, I think.
Oh. But
And she's like, my dad had one of those, and blah, blah, blah.
podiatrist. He was a podiatrist.
Right.
Yeah.
Their fight takes to the skies for some thunder and punches. It was a pretty cool scene. I liked it stylistically. It was great. You know, they're like in dark clouds, and there's like, you know.
And I also like the comedy of us being with them in the clouds and hearing the punching and the huh and the and then when we zoom out, it's just kind of like thunder and lightning.
Yeah, it was great. It all ends back up where it started, where Campbell's chicken noodle soup is mocked as a party pooper.
Poopa, poopa, poopa.
Maria Hill is upset that Carol can't handle Thor. But, as we know, Carol's extremely strong. She could take down Thanos' ships with just flying through them, take down a whole armada of things, and she rightfully so says, well, if I use my full power, I can create a crater, I can destroy a lot of things. So, I mean, she's holding back for a reason.
Step off hill.
Right. Darcy and Carol meet for the first time that we've seen in the MCU, and I want to see more of it in live action because they have such a cute little back and forth. Darcy's super excited that she has a cat, which we know is Goose / aka Chewie, the Flurkin, and Carol doesn't care. She wants to babysit her cat.
She's like, I can be your intern or your cat wrangler. Which would you like?
Both, Darcy.
Why not?
Thor ends up calling Jane while also flirting, but asks when he can see her again, where she says, I love you when she hangs up. Have you ever done that?
No. I mean,
You've never accidentally said I love you. Even if it wasn't to like a romantic partner and it was to like a coworker or something.
No.
Or a teacher.
No.
I've done both of those things. Yeah,
What?
It was weird.
That is weird.
I didn't mean it.
What subject did the teacher teach?
English. It was Miss Wilson.
Miss Wilson.
It was freshman year.
Oh.
There was a lot happening.
Freshman. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she said, that's nice, but don't say that ever again. I was like, okay, I'll be back when we talk about the Iliad.
I really appreciate the okay, but no.
Right.
I'm acknowledging, but also setting the boundary. How dare you?
Yeah, she was great. I mean, she's the one that, made me get into National Honor Society and stuff. So it was like that I love you opened the doors to me having better opportunities.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty good with my I love yous. I know, like I'll say I love you to my friends and stuff like that if we get off the phone or like haven't seen each other for a while.
There's literally only one friend that I say I love you to.
Me?
You're not just my friend. I wouldn't call you my friend. No, it's Kayla.
Oh.
She's the only one I say. Yeah, anytime we play games and stuff like that, because we always talk to each other when we play the same game,
Mm-hmm.
like we always say, good night, love you.
Oh, that's
Every
cute.
time. Yeah, just saying. Anyway, yeah, whatever. Colleagues and teachers, I've said I love you too. I've also called one of my teacher's mom before, which is not great. Anyway, let's get off this subject. I keep like exposing myself.
You just keep digging yourself into these holes, and I'm like, okay. It's like feeling like a little bit like a therapy session.
But I did like this little moment of Jane Foster saying "I love you." It's very dorky. It's the side of Jane Foster that we have kind of seen or skimmed the surface a little bit with Natalie Portman in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the extra layer of something that we're missing, because either she's written as this like really intelligent, smart person, but she can't also be a person at the same time, or it's the other thing.
But like, let's talk about Love and Thunder for a second. The woman has fallen in love with him not even 24 hours.
I will say, though, it's more convincing than in the Thor movie.
Roasted.
Just saying.
Ooh.
I just felt like, I don't know if it's because I already had that preconceived notion that they belong together, but it was just like, oh, okay. And in the Thor movie, I was just like, yeah, I don't know. You could do better, Natalie Portman.
Come on, guys. What happened to the chemistry work?
This guy's a mess. So they plan, aka S.H.I.E.L.D. and Maria Hill, to lure him to one of the Dakotas or a desert of some sort, so that way Captain Marvel can use more of her power to kind of put Thor out of commission. Jane calls Thor to warn him, but Loki answers and accidentally breaks the phone. Darcy plans to call Frigga to tattletale on him.
Such a tiny phone.
Yeah.
Hey, of course he was going to drop it.
Yeah.
He's a big ice giant.
So now we see this kind of montagey thing of what the party atmosphere is actually doing to the planets. One key moment is Surtur flirting with the Statue of Liberty, which was amazing.
Melts her arm off. The torch.
Loved it. But also, it begs the question of, okay, Surtur is already here. In Thor Ragnarok, he was brought back to actually destroy Asgard because Hela was there, and you need to kind of kill Asgard.
Hela
right.
destroy it.
So it's interesting that he's already there. Like, did he help destroy Alpha, the star?
Yeah, I almost feel like when Thor goes to a place, the party atmosphere is pumping. The invitations go out over SMS text messages, and people just come. They just come to the planet, and they just get crazy. So it's kind of like, I think he just attracts people, and then it's
Also
like a giant
Surtur.
house party, and that's why everything gets destroyed.
I was kind of hoping to see Hela, but I guess she's still,
She's in hell.
right, still locked away somewhere. Carol ends up taking Thor away from the party, while Jane gets Heimdall's attention and gets Bifrosted there. Carol takes Thor to Russia, I think it was.
Somewhere where it's snow.
I want to say it's
And
like a
polar
tundra.
bears?
Yeah, tundra of some
Okay.
sort,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to say is probably Russia. Just going to say. Sure. And warns him one more time while Maria Hill plans on nuking them. But just in time, Frigga interrupts the scuffle via magic projection and gets an earful from his mom. Because he's like, oh no, I am actually studying, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, prove it. I'm going to be on my way. I'm going to come down there.
Panic ensues.
It is just like all of those high school party movies where it's like the parents are like, I'm coming home early. Right. It's like
they shove stuff in closets. Oh no, I hope she doesn't open it. The solo cups are going to come spilling out.
And in this case, it's just the world in disarray. Disarray is the right word.
Dysentery.
Is a mess. With Frigga's presence on Midgard imminent, Thor frantically tries to clean up his party mess, which is planet-wide. Thor tries to get Loki to help, but Loki don't care. Everyone decides to leave Thor with the party mess, which is kind of sad because they only want to be around him because of fun. But then Thor tells them that his mother is coming, and everybody's like, oh, Frigga? Okay, we're going to help you clean up now, which I'm loving. The supremacy that is Frigga, that everybody just respects her in that regard.
She's just trying to hang out with her sisters.
Yeah, she's like, I'm just trying to, have this varietal of Chardonnay, but I can't because
Because my adult son... Shenanigans. Immortal son, shenanigan immortal.
I'm so happy that we have a lighthearted episode at some point in this thing. The first 2 episodes, fantastic. Then 3 on up until 6 was just it was a lot. But
I can breathe.
I don't think it's going to be the same next
Oh,
episode.
no,
It's probably going
You
to right
get
back
one.
to where it was. Right.
Yeah, got 1.
That way Marvel can be like, no, we gave you some like 3 nice episodes.
You brats.
So Frigga arrives and they all pretend to be students in learning. Doesn't seem like she's buying it, but then Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, ends up playing along, which is amazing, and seems to believe Thor's education till Party Mjolnir shows up and it has a bunch of graffiti and
Like
all that
beads
stuff.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
Just remnants of a bunch of parties across the world on there. But I did like that Carol, in the end, was just like, I'll help you out, man.
I got you.
It's fine. You're just immature.
Yep.
In the final moments, Party Thor shows a different kind of humility. I said that right the first time.
Humidity.
Humidity, which is very humid here, by the way. By going to Jane Foster's trailer.
Jane's Foster's is the new brand that I'm starting.
Guys, I'm so lucky that you can listen this far into this with how I speak.
Welcome to Jane's Foster's.
Humility by going to Jane Foster's trailer and asking her out on a date. Uatu, the Watcher, looked on, narrating about how the two lived happily ever after, only to be cut off by something that surprises even him. So does the all-seeing, omnipotent Watcher that is Uatu, aka Jeffrey Wright, have a blind spot? It seems like he does.
Or is it that he's literally just watching like a television show? Like he doesn't know what's going to happen.
No, but he can see all points of time at all the same time.
What?
So he does have blind spots.
What if... That's it.
Okay.
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 What vine is that? Comment below. So a group of Ultron drones appear before Thor in the desert. They step aside to reveal the main Ultron, who not only has the face of Vision, but all 6 Infinity Stones. Now, yes, that is enough to ruin any hero's day, but what does that have to do with Party Thor? Question mark.
What's so confusing about this entire thing?
This isn't like the other cliffhangers, though.
No.
At this point, there's nothing to suggest that Thor's wacky exploits and the lack of scheming Loki would lead to the creation of Ultron and the gathering of Infinity Stones. I just want to say that's probably because this Ultron / who I'm calling Viztron is not from this universe.
That's what I was just gonna say. Because when they're in... What's Thor's home called? Asgard. But does the castle have a name where they live?
It's Asgard.
It's all Asgard.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the realm's name.
Well, when they're walking through the castle, they walk past the Infinity Gauntlet with all the stones in it.
And that's probably why they showed it. But, so that's where it gets a little iffy because just going back in the movies, and if it's like, okay, all of the MCU movies are canon in this universe until the diverging point. But we do see in Thor Ragnarok, when Hela went to Asgard and she was going through all the artifacts, she saw Thanos' gauntlet and she pushed it and she was like, fake. So it's like, was that the fake?
Oh, sure.
Or was it real? I can't remember if in Thor Ragnarok, if all the stones were on the gauntlet. Because in this Party Thor episode, all the stones were on the gauntlet. So I don't. Who's to say?
So what I'm thinking, though, is that if it is real, then it's supporting your theory that, Viztron is from another dimension.
And it could be that Strange Supreme knows about it somehow or some way. And he goes to a different universe, maybe finds Captain Carter, and then gets a whole inter-universal Avengers together.
What if Viztron is good, though?
No.
No, listen. Listen. In order to become Vision, right, he has to have died as evil Ultron, usually. So if he's part of this interstellar galactic timeline Avengers, he's a really interesting Vision that has all the stones.
But he has Ultron, and Ultron's bad news bears.
But he's just like wearing Ultron.
Yeah, but Vision wouldn't do that. And also, but if you remember from when Vision got created, he got brought to life from Thor's immense electricity that he gave him.
Love and Thunder.
but it was Vision with Jarvis uploaded without the Ultron aspect to it. So the fact that Vision has Ultron on the outside, and where's Wanda?
Your boy can still like the outfit.
But he has all 6 Infinity Stones, meaning he has the Soul Stone. So who did he sacrifice to get the Soul Stone?
Ultron. No, I'm kidding.
That's not how that works. I mean, what if
Hawkeye?
What if? I mean,
That's what
finally.
I know.
But I mean, it should have happened
That's
the first
how you
time.
feel.
Whatever.
Oh.
I mean, he was already killing a bunch of people.
Hot.
I mean, whatever. Anyway,
Hot topic.
what if he killed
Exactly.
Tony? He killed Tony Stark.
Tony.
Almost every episode has Tony Stark dying, so it's perpetuating that Tony has to die.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Or maybe he just lets someone else get it and steals it from them, or forces Wanda to sacrifice Pietro and then overpowers her. I'm just saying. There's a lot of theories that ran through my head on how he could have got the Soul Stone, because in the MCU, you can only get the Soul Stone by giving a soul.
But y'all, does this even have to do with the MCU? No.
This is the MCU.
Am I the MCU?
No. Because it's
No.
fictional.
So earnestly. No.
Real. But anyway, so everything is not fine because Viztron has arrived, and that's the end of the episode. I can't believe that we got through this episode with all of the insane tangents that we usually do, and we're only at 46 minutes, which is the normal time this season. To be fair, it was just a fun episode. So,
You know, the real outlandish thing about this entire episode is that Jane Foster sits in a van in the middle of the desert in layers and flannel. Excuse me?
she did that in the Thor movie too.
It's so hot. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, it gets cool in the
This was the
nighttime.
middle of the day. It was high noon.
What is that picture up there? I'm sorry, guys. This is totally random. What is that picture?
Oh, I found that. It's a picture of me as a little kid.
On top of this like shelving thing that we have with all of our pictures on there, there's like a brand new picture, and it's been catching my eye every time, and I just can't handle it anymore.
Because I was looking for a frame for the beautiful Sally Longdog print that I won on Instagram, and I could not find one. But then I saw that, and I figured, well, there's this picture of you as a little kid, and maybe there should be a picture of me.
Okay.
If you guys don't follow Sally Longdog on Instagram, she's a beautiful basset hound who lives on the Lower East Side.
Derek
of New
is
York City.
obsessed with basset hounds.
I had 2 basset hounds growing up. I love them. Sally Longdog is gorgeous. If you ever want to know more basset hounds to follow, just let me know. Comment below.
So yeah, I mean, anyway, the what if is it's happening. I do feel like it's all going to tie together because we do still have some heroes that are from previous episodes and other universes that are alive. But I will say canonically
Canonically.
in the comics.
No, that's not right.
No, it's canon. Canon in the comics. We don't know this about the MCU because there hasn't been other universes technically where we've seen the Infinity Stone / the Gauntlet except for Loki, but it seems like they don't work. And that's because the stones or the gems don't work outside of their home universe. So I'm interested to see how Viztron is there, and if he is from another universe, do the stones work? Because he's like showed up there with the like teleportation portal thing that you get from the Space Stone.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how it's working there, because dimensions and universes, this is me nerding out with what it means because they are completely different things. Think of the universe as a loaf of bread and the slices as dimensions.
Delicious.
So it's within the same universe. So dimensions and universes, you can't separate them.
Why can't the stones be Earth's stones?
They can, but they only work in the universe that they're home to.
But yeah, right. So they're that Earth's stones.
That's if he's from that universe. That's what I'm saying. So if it's just weird that Viztron is there, because nothing would make sense of like in this episode that would have led to Viztron existing. So that's why I'm thinking, oh, maybe he's from a different universe, because especially the way he showed up with an army, somebody would have noticed it, some Avenger, especially Tony Stark, because at this point, Tony would have been Iron Man by now. So that's why I'm assuming he's from a different universe, because we're going to get Captain Carter and Strange Supreme. So I'm just saying.
And what I'm spitballing is that he's like, hey, dude, We need to be the Avengers. You don't know them, but
He's not good.
we do. So let's
There's
go.
no way. There's no way.
No way, Jose.
I mean, I'm glad that you think, like, okay, you think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be Bad News Bears Ultron. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Well, we're fighting now, so
Oh, yeah. Total fight.
end the podcast.
All right. Well, that's all I have to say about this
Furious. All right, well, I'm going to get into a really serious segment
No.
right now.
Oh, so the episode was nice and lighthearted, but your segment had to be heavy.
Things that make you go, what? All right, so 3 names that strike fear into the hearts of dust bunnies around the world.
J.K. Rowling.
Oof. You are going in on the hot takes tonight. Dyson, Hoover,
Right.
Dirt Devil.
Oh, Dirt Devil. I haven't heard in a while.
Vacuums are a part of our everyday lives, with new vortex dirt tornadoes, pet hair inhaling, dander grabbing, air purifying powers. These suckers get fancier by the day. But one must wonder, how did they begin? You
What?
see...
What? Like sucking?
No, vacuums.
Oh, I get your suck comment at the beginning. now.
Yeah,
I
because
forgot.
vacuums suck.
I forgot.
Yeah. Okay. In 1901, engineer Hubert Cecil Booth saw a machine that was supposed to clean houses by blowing air at the dirt and hoping it would be caught in a bag.
I'm like, wait. all, all I can picture. Do you remember that game as a kid with the elephant that shot the butterflies out and you had to catch them in the net?
Yes. I was terrible at it.
That's
Elephant.
Was that really the name?
I believe so.
Fun. No, but that's what I
Exactly.
picture. That's what I picture these people in these houses doing.
Exactly. And so he saw this and he was like, no. He's like, you need something that sucks.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, it'll never be invented. So our good friend,
Not with that attitude.
engineer Hubert Cecil Booth, he was like, well, I'm going to try some experiments. You know, he almost died trying to invent the vacuum because he put a handkerchief over his mouth and he tried to suck some dirt off an armchair and he almost choked to death.
Wait. What?
He went like
He
this.
was the vacuum?
Yeah.
Why? Okay. I guess it leads to him inventing it, but like, why would you think that would help you?
Suction. I don't know. He needed to test suction through a filter.
With its own body.
Yeah, he almost died.
Okay.
All right. All for our benefit. So the first vacuum was not handheld. Rather, the red and gold appliance was so big,
Oh.
it had to be drawn by horses.
No.
Yes. It would park in the street, and giant hoses would go into people's houses where bystanders could see the dusted dirt in a glass container out on the street.
Julie's house is filthy.
Disgusting. Can you believe it? She got it. But like, this
No
is-
more Tupperware parties at her place.
No. Everything's gross. Everything's covered in mildew. and
Wait,
mold.
so it's like street cleaners, but for your house?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yes.
embarrassing.
But like, you were like awesome if you got this done because it meant you had
Oh.
money.
Oh, it's like getting like gardeners and like lawn people to come
Right.
to your house.
They would literally have vacuum parties where people come and watch your house get vacuumed.
So sad.
Right?
I'm so glad we have social media.
I mean, but yeah, it was like the early 1900s. It was like there, like not a lot was happening.
Was
People
this the
were
same
like,
time that they had those hoops and sticks that they would run around?
oh,
the streets
probably. They probably had the old penny farthing rolling down the street
Oh my
there.
God. Is that what it's called?
No, a penny farthing was a type of bicycle, the one with the really big front wheel and a small.
Oh, stupid.
I know that from being on Cash Cab. Anyway,
He was on Cash
I
Cab,
was on
guys.
Cash Cab.
You can look it up on YouTube. Just
Yep.
saying. Derek Ivy, Cash Cab.
lost real bad. Spoiler alert. Anyway, so but the thing was that there was actually some backlash because of these vacuums. So people were mad that he invented it, so they sued him. So a lot of other inventors were just mad that he created something so awesome and they sued him. But other people said that these vacuum parties were debaucherous, okay, and the horses were scary and we have to get rid of them.
Were they having sex on top of the vacuum hoses that were coming in?
No, but the clip clopping was too loud. The hoses were intimidating, and he was getting rich off of it. Filthy rich for
Like,
cleaning.
I don't understand the invent. I mean, that's just pure being douchebags. But like,
Yeah.
like I guess you don't have anything better to do.
Just stomping around.
Yeah, finding things to be mad at, which isn't too far from nowadays.
Well, that's
but like,
true.
getting mad at a vacuum is pretty.
But like, yeah, maybe you weren't invited to the vacuum party, and you're like, well, how dare she? And I'm gonna sue him. I'm not getting invited.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, he won, and soon the vacuum was purchased by royalty all over the world. And now we can all be royalty with vacuums.
Yeah, as I cut the animal hair out of the brush turny thing into the head of the vacuum.
Yeah.
Because it gets clogged. You didn't think about that now, did you, Booth?
He tried. He did put the filter in, though.
He did.
But where are the horses? I don't know.
Wow, imagine like you had to schedule your house to be vacuumed. And what if you could only do it once a month and it was by horse drawn? And some stranger had to do it for you. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
No. Even before COVID times.
It's like that thing of like when you have to clean up before like a cleaning service comes.
Oh, my mom did that. That was so weird.
I'm saying.
You're literally paying them to, because she would do it when like family and stuff would come. But I'm like,
sure.
You're literally cleaning before the people that do this for a living are going to do it. Whatever.
Anyway, so I don't know whether it's good or bad. There were horses involved in vacuuming back in the day, and that made me go, what?
That was a really good one.
You thought so?
I thought so.
I didn't think it was strong at all. Thanks.
Strong enough to be pulled by horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That deserved a dab.
Yeah, and when Derek dabs ferociously, he makes explosion noises.
That's right. Dab.
All right. Well, next week on episode 8 of What If, it will not be as frantic, and I apologize, but I also don't, because sometimes we just need to just tell our life story within these episodes.
So much. You've learned so much about us tonight.
I want to say that they've probably learned more about us, if they got this far with the rambling, more about us in this one episode than almost 80 episodes.
Yeah. Remember when, like, last year, it was like early this year, we posted a YouTube video and people were like, wait, they're gay? It's like nobody knows anything about us. Oh my God. We're like, yeah, we're getting married.
We're not only gay, we're getting married.
Okay.
Hey, we're talking about pop culture and stuff. It doesn't matter what we, who we love and stuff like that. We just happen to love each other.
Aww.
How about that?
Okay, that was really sweet. We're just like Love and Thunder, Jane and Thunder, Thor. T-O-H-R.
All right. On that note, we're going to leave.
But not in that order. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to A Bite Of, artwork and editing by our own Noah. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at A Bite Of Pod and on Facebook at A Bite Of. If you have questions, recommendations, or just want to say hi, you can email us at abiteofpod@gmail.com. You can find us on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate and review to spread the word. Hope you join us next time on A Bite Of. Bye.